Rowdies, respectively, colliding here for a first time this year at Toyota Field. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Alamo City Lincoln Rose. Anya Rosales with you. And Anya, again, a little preview to perhaps what we could see in the USL Cup if everything goes the way of SAFC and the Rowdies.
Correct. Tonight's a big game for both teams. SAFC can potentially clinch a playoff spot at home to host, and same with Tampa Bay tonight. So we're going to see an exciting game with very competitive players going at it.
We take a look at the standings for both the West and the East. Of course, when you talk about what is still left for Tampa Bay, tonight they can clinch that number 2 seed after what has been a remarkable run. This is their 5th match over their last 15 days. As we transition over to the West, SAFC finds themselves in a 3-way tie for second. They do have one game in hand over in the West as they welcome in the Rowdies here tonight. As again, we take a look at the Western Conference standings, Real Monarchs in the driver's seat, but SAFC still with a chance to host in their first ever postseason, something they've already locked up here in USL play. And Anya, when we talk about this year for San Antonio, so many records are on the horizon, USL records, including potential shutouts this year, and a big part of that is the captain, Michael Reed.
Correct. Michael Reed, that captain, he's solid in there. You know, SAFC hadn't scored off a set piece until September 2nd when they beat Salt Lake City 2-0, and both of those set pieces came off of Michael Reed, so he's a big key player in there. And he went on to score against LA on a direct kick, so once again, you know, being dangerous on those set pieces is key for them.
Of course, somebody has to be able to finish, and a big target for him to eye is that man on the back line in Sebastian Ibeaga.
Correct. Sebastian's a great target player to get to. He's tall, he's strong, he's fast, and same on defensively. He's a key player on set pieces and clearing those balls out of the box and just being sound for the SAFC defense.
Rowdies in town tonight. Both teams looking to improve their seeding in postseason play just around the corner. SAFC and Tampa Bay collide with opening kick when we return to Toyota Field.
Especially during warm-ups. So tonight's only headers happen on the field.
With the month of October comes the home stretch in the USL and the first ever meeting between powers in the West and the East as SAFC for the first time welcomes the Rowdies of Tampa Bay. Welcome everyone to Toyota Field here in the Alamo City. Lincoln Rose, Anya Rosales with you. And Anya, we take a look at this matchup, a first meeting between these two teams, both doing very well in the West and East. Both teams featured atop the standings, right around the number 2 spot, each looking to improve their seeding.
Correct, and tonight's a big game for both teams. SAFC could potentially host a playoff game with a win tonight, and same with Tampa Bay. So it's a great game. We're going to see some competitive action tonight.
Let's take a look at those standings. First up with the East, as the Rowdies this year, right behind Louisville City FC, looking to lock up with a victory tonight, that number 2 seed. A couple other things will have to go their way, but boy, have things gone their way, as in a moment we'll have a chance to look at that schedule and see how busy they've been. But over on the Western Conference in the USL, San Antonio a 3-way tie at 55 points. The difference between Reno, Swope Park, and San Antonio. SAFC has a game in hand, looking to move up exclusively to that number 2 spot if they can pick up points here tonight. Again, we talk about the schedules here down the stretch, both teams looking at postseason implications. This is a Tampa Bay team now playing its 5th match in its last 5 days. San Antonio will have its final 3 matches here at home. Anya, when we talk about this year, San Antonio locking up its first USL berth, as you see some of the numbers that stand out right there. I know when we talk about the players this year for San Antonio, it's really the defense that could shatter some records, in part because of the captain's leadership in Michael Reed.
Yes, Michael Reed is a great leader and he's great on set pieces. He scored on a set piece against LA and scored the game before that. Both goals against the win with City 2-1 came off of Michael's set pieces. He's very good.
Michael's in the midfield, the man he loves to connect with on those set pieces. Sebastian Ibiaga has been a fantastic target here in year 2 for SAFC.
Yes, he's a great target, and he's just a great defender for the back line with SAFC. He's very sound back there. He's good. It gets up, and he clears those balls defensively on set pieces, and he's made some great defensive plays just in the game.
Players being introduced, soon enough the national anthem. When we come back, it'll be opening kick for a first time. The Rowdies and SAFC collide here at Toyota Field.
Number 7, forward, Bailey.
How can we help?
Well, I'm thirsty.
We have juice, teas, and over 100 ways to create your drink with our Coca-Cola Freestyle.
Wow, that's a lot of drinks.
Need a boost? We've got fresh coffee and great deals on energy drinks.
That's cool and hot.
Ready to relax? Check out our craft beer and wine selection.
Classy.
How else can we help?
That's it. I'll just take these. Thanks.
Don't forget the
We're your
milk.
juice, tea, soda, coffee, energy drink, beer, wine, milk, and more store. We're fresh and friendly. We're Corner Store.
Look for the silver door, Timmy.
All right, here we go.
Timmy!
What is this place? Welcome to the Spurs Retirement Club. This is nice.
Here we have all-you-can-eat H-E-B Prime 1 steaks.
Awesome. And here's your monogram steak, sir. Cooked to perfection.
Plus an unlimited supply of creamy creations, ice cream. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
H-E-B Prime 1, just like they serve in the finest restaurants.
Gotta crank this party up a notch.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
I'm not the type to say any of this mushy garbage.
You know what? I'm going for it.
You are completely and utterly
Awesome.
I'm glad you showed up.
In my life.
I think I'm about to cry.
You better not. Every single time I
Get down!
You always have
My back. My back.
It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things.
Yes, yes, things.
Are actually friendship.
Welcome back, Toyota Field. Matchup coming up here in just a moment between the Rowdies and SAFC. Again, great implications here down the final stretch. San Antonio will have 3 of its final matches at home. Rowdies playing their 5th match in 15 days. Let's take a look at our starting lineups As the 11 available to San Antonio tonight, Billy Forbes, Cesar Elizondo, Omar Gordon, a potent attack. Michael Reed will anchor it all right there in the middle. And of course, the back line, they're trying to help Diego Restrepo set some history in the USL with what would be his 13th individual shutout on this campaign.
Yes, Diego is one away from tying the league record with clean sheets. And if he could do it tonight, I mean, how awesome would that be against his former club that he used to play with in the NASL? So he has a lot on the line, but like you said, he has a solid back line to help him out back there.
There are a lot of great stories between these two rosters. Let's switch over to the Rowdies and take a look at the 11 that will suit up tonight. Among the starters for Stuart Campbell, he has to balance something here. This team has been playing well. He wants them to be in championship form entering the postseason, but it's their 5th match in 15 days. He needs to make sure he gets some rest for some guys. That's why names like Cole and Collins not in the lineup, but still a very capable 11 out there. Of course, the potent offense of Georgi Ristov, 1 goal shy of his 50th in a Rowdies uniform. Well, the head man for SAFC, Darren Powell, year number 2 on the sidelines. As the former Elon head coach with those ties to Orlando City SC under Tim Holt's guidance, has been quite the fit here in San Antonio in the mindset of Spurs Sports and Entertainment. And he's been a guy they have trusted with the reins. And how has he responded? Well, this year he has SAFC already locking up their first postseason berth and perhaps a chance to host.
Correct. That would be huge for the team. I mean, their first postseason hosting, and it could, be the first playoff berth all in 1 year, just in the 2nd year with Darren Powell. So that's big for the club.
Tampa Bay
so
coach.
Soon enough, the only kick between these two sides, it means it's the first time we've seen Stuart Campbell here at Toyota Field this year in his 3rd year at the helm of the Rowdies. This is the Rowdies, of course, first season in the USL. They have made an impact, delighting everybody in Ralph's Mob over there in St. Pete and the Tampa Bay region. And what a job he has done. Again, 13 wins, 10 draws, just 7 defeats. With that said, they've set a lot of modern era records for this club, but they have struggled on the road. Just 2 wins so far. It would be a big one tonight if they could capture 3 points and lock up that number 2 seed in the East. So the traditional hoops for the Rowdies, taking on SAFC, wearing their black home kits here tonight. And for the Rowdies, again, there you see some of the familiar names, including Gorski and, of course, Darwin Jones, the 25-year-old out of Chicago, the former standout Husky for Washington, sitting on over 1,000 minutes this year. Both of these clubs with some great depth on the season. Walter Restrepo with that number 8 on his back will be one of the familiar names to the fans of professional soccer here in San Antonio. Helped lead them to a pro soccer title back in 2014. And, of course, for SAFC, we talked about some of the guys. It's hard to miss Sebastian Ibeaga. You could have all 10 of his teammates around him, and he's still going to stand out in that pack. I know, Anya, this year you've gotten a chance to get to know these guys during practice, interviewing them throughout the week. What stands out the most when you get to sit on camera with Sebastian?
Sebastian, he's a very professional guy. He's really, his head's always in the game. He's a guy you want as your center back on that back line. He's very calm, he's collected, but he's very smart. And you can hear that when you talk to him, when you watch him play, and he's just a great guy to have on your team.
I know, of course, when you were playing with the Baylor Bears, you had some good goalkeepers behind you. How much motivation does that back line get knowing what they have between the pipes and the talent of Diego Restrepo?
Oh, yeah, it's great motivation. I mean, as a defender, when you have someone solid between those posts, one mistake as a defender could cost you the game, but not if you have someone solid like Diego Restrepo back there.
Michael Reed wears that captain's armband. It is a San Antonio side. We mentioned 55 points in a 3-way tie for second, that coveted number 2 seed, and hosting implications that go with it. As SAFC this year, again, 55 points thanks to 15 wins, 10 draws, just 4 losses this year. What a start to this campaign it was, as they were able to go unbeaten well into the summer. Moments away from kick here at Toyota Field, as the fans making their way out on this Saturday evening. Again, our referee, Victor Rivas, will be our man in the light blue top tonight.
Are you on the stick mic now, Anya?
And a quick touch from Ibiaga, who will be fouled from behind. It'll set up our first free kick for San Antonio. Again, two teams that can really help themselves out. This ball will be sent back. Pickens in frame. Again, Matt Pickens, the 6'3" product out of Missouri State, growing up in Washington, Missouri. Now 35 years old. A little over 2,400 minutes this year. 8 shutouts this season. Rowdies, top of the 18. Flag will stay down. Restrepo with his first save of the night will keep us scoreless, as the best opportunity here in the opening 90 seconds belong to the visitors.
There you see Restrepo coming big. You know, a defense doesn't expect a ball like that. We're kind of caught off guard, and Diego's just solid, makes the save right there, and the defense is there to pick it up.
You will not see many attackers get that kind of one-on-one opportunity with Restrepo. And San Antonio will survive the corner kick. Full speed ahead. San Antonio looking for its first stroke on the boots of Gordon. Gordon tomorrow will turn 26 years old, the Jamaican, member of their national team, 6 caps already on his resume. Looking for Billy. Forbes will get ahead on it, but nothing more. And Pickens has a little easier go at squeezing that ball in than his counterpart Restrepo did a moment ago. Well, it did not take long to dial up Billy Forbes atop this formation for San Antonio. Such a fixture Billy has been, a longtime fan favorite here in the area.
Yes, Billy playing formerly in San Antonio before SAFC got here. It was exciting when he came back this season after the first season with SAFC started up, so he was already a fan favorite before even playing a game in the black and white.
And San Antonio will simply send it across midfield. Back up to Gordon. Gordon with a burst of speed. But able to hang right there with him. Kyle Porter, the Canadian out of Toronto. Reed fighting for a 50-50. The Rowdies will be able to haul this one in and win the whistle as well. A foul on San Antonio will give that back line of the Rowdies a bit of breathing room. Anya, so far this year, from start to finish, how have you seen what was already a good San Antonio squad back in April continue to evolve here as postseason is just around the corner?
Yeah, you know, new signings like with Omar Gordon and Mark Ojong later in the season. I mean, these guys just came in and added to what was already going well for San Antonio FC. I think the mid-season changes and trades went really well for San Antonio, and like as you see now, they've just progressed even better as they reach this postseason run.
Both of these clubs with some roster adjustments in the most recent couple of months, coming out of the summer into the fall for this final stretch.
Copy that.
Again, Rowdies' inaugural season as members of the USL. What a venue Al Lang Stadium has become over there. Right along the water. And of course, Ralph Smaub always full throat at those home matches. You talk about the Rowdies, part of this first year of the USL. It's led to a modern era record for the club, 13 wins. They'd love to add to that here tonight. 11 of those wins at home, and currently on a 13-match unbeaten streak.
San Antonio is pretty much the same. They're very strong at home, so it's going to be interesting tonight to see this Rowdies team and SAFC duke it out here, where it's really hard for opposing teams to win here at Toyota Field.
Another touch for Restrepo. We mentioned the Rowdies on his resume. A couple of earlier stints in his career. Gordon with some space. Will send across, nobody home. Forbes was the closest man, but did not have the angle. And no harm will come of that with regard to Tampa Bay's defense. Tries to find its opportunity.
It's a great ball there by Elizondo.
Pickens in the end will squeeze one, but I think they're going to say that was passed to him off the boots. Let's see if this was passed off of the boots. And sure enough, Pickens impermissibly will handle that one.
Just seemed like a miscommunication there between the defender and the goalkeeper. You saw him showing him to just play it out, and just a natural touch back ended up in the goalkeeper's hands, and now in this situation.
It is a rare situation where, again, a foul occurs inside of the box defensively, and there's no PK.
Correct.
I imagine many players could have a long career and never experience an opportunity like this set piece.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever really practiced any of these kinds of set pieces back at Baylor because, like you said, they're very rare.
It would be a tough angle. As, again, right now, Reed, Elizondo, and Forbes all discussing some strategy. Clearly, this is not something rehearsed very often in training. Pickens and the Rowdies favoring that near post.
I don't know who it's harder for, the offense or the defense. You kind of just have to see what you can do in a weird situation like this.
That said, you certainly know which side of the ball you'd rather be on right here.
Correct.
SAFC with a golden opportunity as we say farewell to the opening 8 minutes between SAFC and the visiting Rowdies. Elizondo looks to handle it. Quick touch, top of the box, into congestion, quickly sent back out. The Rowdies have survived for now. Ibiaga will swing it out wide. And a gut-wrenching moment there for the Rowdies back line. They stay organized, and we remain 0-0. The captain, Reed. All the way back to Restrepo outside the 18. He's looking for Forbes, the man who leads SAFC this year in both goals and assists. Has always been a creative playmaker for others, but also been able to find the punctuation on some classic scores as well.
Yes, Billy's really good about getting on the end of some balls in the box and even just creating his own opportunities himself with his speed, getting down the line, and just creating dangerous balls down in that box.
The Rowdies finally with a chance to put some pressure, sending this across midfield. First touch for Porter since passing it back to his keeper a moment ago. Well, a great evening for soccer here in San Antonio at Toyota Field. As Restrepo will send this one back out. This is not the first time for the Rowdies to suit up in those hoops. In fact, the grand opening night of Toyota Field was back in April of 2013, and the Rowdies were the victorious squad that night, a 2-0 victory. Georgi Hristov scoring his first ever goal as a Rowdy on a PK to make it 2-0, the final. That would be his first of now a record-setting 39 goals for the Rowdies club here in this modern era. I say 39, 49, one shy of 50. As what a career it has been for Hristov in that midfield. Again, the Rowdies are balancing the fact that this is their 5th match in 15 nights. Forbes right now dancing with Porter. Got a little help. Ball sent in, quickly returned back in touch for the throw. Again, during their last 5 matches, 3 wins, 2 draws, capturing points in each of them. Talking about the Rowdies, as they have climbed up to the number 2 spot. And with a few things going their way, both in this match and elsewhere in the USL, could lock up that number 2 seed as early as tonight. Hristov truly playing the number 10 tonight for the Rowdies. And a foul called on San Antonio will create a set piece from midfield for the visiting side. As we'll get another look right here.
Yeah, it just looked like a kind of an awkward situation. Reed really wasn't trying to go and attack him. Just both of them kind of lost sight of the ball and each other.
Porter, flag stays down. Splits 2 defenders. Great pass, but nobody there. Shot on frame, Restrepo says no for a second time tonight. A low-lining screamer denied by Restrepo.
And it's saves like that is why Restrepo is up, leading the league with clean sheets and shutouts.
Again, that's Darwin Jones looking for just his 2nd goal on the year.
And that was an excellent strike on goal, and excellent strikes mean excellent saves.
Jones formerly with the Sounders and S2, just their 5th ever homegrown player to make it up to the MLS side. And already some scary moments for Restrepo here in this opening half, as the Rowdies have gotten some quality looks around the 18. Rowdies had some beautiful goals in their last outing against the Red Bulls too. A busy night for Marcel Schaefer, 2 goals and an assist against New York.
Yeah, he's a player that, especially after last game, that one of the goals he scored, you don't want to give him the space no matter where he is on the field, because he will take that shot and he can score off of that shot.
They're looking for Billy. Forbes on this ball in the 18 was looking for Ibiaga, who had pushed all the way forward. Play is continuing despite a man down for San Antonio. It'll be sent into touch in time for the trainers to come on and take a look at Pekka. Pekka with the 6 on his back. And that was Darnell King with whom he collided.
Yeah, just both players going for the header in that situation.
Those are former teammates in Fort Lauderdale. You can ask him about the dental plan provided by the club perhaps later this week.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Again, nothing malicious on that play, just 2 players going for a ball at the top of the 18, and collides happen.
Right now, King is among the Rowdies, 1 yellow shy of a suspension for an upcoming match. Mentioned 3 years he was playing professional soccer in Fort Lauderdale. In fact, his final match with Fort Lauderdale was right here in that championship match at Toyota Field. But he was a teammate with Pekka back then. If you play pro soccer long enough in the States, chances are you've been teammates with a future adversary. Ibiaga looking for Gordon. Again, shoulder to shoulder with Kyle Porter. And Porter will get the better of the exchange. And another foul called by our head man, Victor Rivas.
You know, despite the foul, you have to appreciate Gordon's effort on that play. I mean, San Antonio, they really defend from the top to the bottom, starting with their forwards. And you see that there. You lose a ball at the top on the attacking side and the attacking third, and you have to win it back right away.
Second to last match this regular season for the Rowdies. They will travel to Orlando City to play Orlando B. In 5 nights, that'll be some welcomed rest. I know it's not a full week for them. Restrepo, Walter Restrepo. And Diego will never have to put a fingertip on it, but that's a deflected ball, a corner kick coming up. So Restrepo will get the troops organized for San Antonio. And the Rowdies, I think, have just now told Marcel Schaefer, you're handling this kick for us. The German capped 8 times for the national team back home. Minchin had an assist last week. I should say really midweek. His 10 assists this year, second best in the USL, looking to pull even with the leader at 11 if he can come through right here with that left boot. Back post, still not in the clear, but a whistle call will give SAFC the breathing room. In Toyota Field tonight, the site of the only meeting this year between West and East SAFC and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Lincoln Rose, Anya Rosal is with you. As right now, 17 minutes into this match, both sides have had some interesting opportunities, but each time the defenses have done just enough to keep us scoreless.
Like you said, it's the first meeting between these two clubs, and it's a nice time in the season for them to meet as they get ready to head into the postseason. They're going to face teams from outside their conference, and you have two very, very successful teams facing tonight, both playing for a big game. And like I said, it's a great practice in a sense heading into the postseason.
Right through the midfield, it'll make its way all the way back to Pickens. Anya, if you told me that this would be the first of your 2 meetings this year, I think they'd both be okay with that.
Correct. Yeah.
The only way that, again, of course, they would meet again. Reed will send it back through the midfield with the tap to Rashandel. Up to Forbes again, comes back into the midfield. But he's no stranger to making a run. Looking for Gordon. Outside the 18, just couldn't settle that pass. And again, Pickens will simply have another goal kick. Anya, I think this year you've already had some features on players' chosen hairstyles, haven't you?
For that, the faux hawk or the mohawk and dyeing it blonde. I'm not going to say which athlete they're referencing with that, but it's a trend nonetheless on this team. They care a lot about their hair, that is for sure.
They've still managed to get the results. Pickens will send it up towards midfield. Reed steps through. And King will bring it up the opposite wing. Again, the Rowdies can secure that number 2 seed with a win as well as losses for Charleston and Charlotte. Would also need Rochester to come up short of a victory tonight. Either a draw or a loss would do. So a few things would still have to happen. Otherwise, the Rowdies would also want a positive result in their final match against Orlando. Second corner kick now for the visiting side. Ian Schaefer sitting on 10 assists. You look at Restrepo organizing his men. Another outswinger coming up off that left boot. Top of the 6. I don't think anybody got an initial touch on it. It settles with Restrepo, looking for that top left 90, and again will remain scoreless after another great opportunity, this time for the Rowdies. In the midst of our 22nd minute. Well, hip to hip, Gordon. Play continues. The Jamaican from 19 denied at the top of the 18 off of Porter.
About Gordon is he loves to create the space for himself by being a little physical. He doesn't get bumped off the ball easily. He's just a player that, you can give him the ball and he'll stand with their defender and turn and go and look for that shot like he just did.
This will stay with San Antonio. You see Pickens at the top of your screen still directing everybody, trying to keep the hoops organized. This could easily be 1-0 in favor of either of these two teams. From 25 out, Forbes, expert touch inside, just can't do anything with it. And the clearance comes from Porter. As again, Billy was looking for Pekka. Again, I don't know what Billy likes more, whether that is creating a scoring chance for a teammate or simply working some magic on his own and putting the finishing touch on it. But a valuable addition to SAFC. And certainly he's had some familiar faces to link up with so far this year.
Actually asked Billy what he enjoys more, creating great assists or creating his own chances, and his response is just whatever helps the team be successful is his favorite.
Yeah, last year he was up in Oklahoma City with Rayo OKC. After that club was ill-fated, made his way back to San Antonio, where, among other things, has a clothing line. No stranger to plugging that in post-match interviews. As San Antonio's Mark Ojong will get to that ball first. National team member for Cameroon. Gordon, right through the legs. Gordon, full speed ahead. From 19, able to slot one on the pitch towards Pickens, who comes up with the stop.
You see Gordon just creating his own chances. You have him on the right side who can create a chance and rip a ball. Same with Billy Forbes on the left side. So you have a really potent attack with SAFC tonight.
Well, the knowledgeable fans here in San Antonio appreciated the effort. But again, Pickens steps right back up and continues this trend, a scoreless affair. The 10-year veteran in MLS, Colorado, as well as Chicago, comes through here tonight. One-on-one opportunity, but that touch too heavy. The goal kick coming up for Pickens.
The Rowdies have been pretty well of it, shutting down those long balls, trying to get in behind the defense. You have speed on speed with these forwards and these defenders tonight.
Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Stuart Campbell, manager for the Rowdies, has to delicately juggle wanting the same 11 men out there as they've been playing so well together in pursuit of this postseason push, but at the same time wants to keep them well enough rested during this stretch so they can still be full strength or at least as strong as possible going into their first ever USL postseason.
And that's what's really going to bring success for teams is how healthy can you keep your starting 11, and then how much depth do you have to utilize on your team? I mean, I don't know what's more important, health or depth, and it's a combination of both to seeing who will go the furthest in the postseason.
Rowdies, like SAFC, would love to lock up at least one home match in St. Pete in front of their home crowd where they have played so well this year, including, again, that win just the other night against Red Bulls 2, that 3-2 final. It was a comeback victory, I think, for the first time this year for the Rowdies at home. They hadn't played from behind very often.
Marcel Schaefer was a big key in that comeback win, and it's someone who San Antonio FC is really going to have to look out for tonight, as well as a lot of other players on the Rowdies, that they have a lot of attacking players that can do some danger.
Schaefer assisted the equalizer, and then one of his laser strikes from distance would wind up on some of your favorite highlight shows by the end of the night. Back through Restrepo. Again, Diego Restrepo took over early in this season for Matt Cardoni, who was brilliant, and you wondered how could any understudy fare behind Cardoni, and Restrepo has done as much as you could ask of him.
Well, when you have an understudy like Restrepo, who has a great resume, a lot of experience, I mean, San Antonio FC just really got lucky with the two top keepers they had on their team.
Restrepo, born in Venezuela, grew up in West Palm Beach. Actually lived in Colombia for a lot of his youth. Would win a collegiate national title with UVA back in 2009 in Charlottesville. And of course, we've noted a stop with the Rowdies where he has 26 of his career matches in frame. Tonight it's Pickens, the man in goal for Tampa Bay. And SAFC would love to test him once more. That is not going to happen. Saved off of that inline. Simply a toss coming up for the home side.
That was a great defensive effort there, not letting up on the play and not giving up a corner.
Forbes back to Pekka. Reed in the midfield. It is easy to get dazzled by the boots of Billy and Pekka as they play their game within 30 yards.
You got to add in Elizondo there as well.
Yeah, his green boots help him stand out. A classic midfielder over the years here in the Alamo City. Midway through the 29th minute here in this opening half. Not your standard 0-0 affair. Both sides with some opportunities. This a well-placed pass. Just a quick single touch from Darwin Jones. Couldn't settle it. Back to the midfield. Jones looking for Porter. In space. Schaefer. Left boot, cross, denied. It'll be another corner kick for Schaefer and the Rowdies.
Once again, you see Captain Michael Reed just getting in there, helping wherever he needs to be. Something you want from your captain in that midfield.
Schaefer has had at least one assist in 4 of his last 5 matches. During that span, the Rowdies have never settled for less than a point. As Billy will be the first to land on this one. Tripped up, and they will continue. This ball was San Antonio. Let's see if some color comes out of the pocket. Just a talking to Restrepo for now.
You know, Billy just gets that touch behind the player there, and there's really not much you can do when you get tied up like that.
That's 2 former teammates in the midfield together. And after watching the replay again, Walter likely not deserving a card and did not receive one. You watch how quickly some of these players play on that ball, and you have these officials who have to make a instant decision whether there's a foul or to let play continue.
That's right. They don't get the valuable replay that we get to do. And, you know, some people are so quick to judge on a ref's call, but like you said, it's in the moment and it happens so fast. You just got to go with what your gut tells you and what you see.
When you were playing in Waco, suited up for the Bears, you never told an official that they made the wrong call, did you?
Never, never. I said that was a great call. Every call.
I'm sure your coaches, the Jobsons, did the same.
Correct, yeah, never.
So simply along the back line here for the Rowdies. Lincoln Rose, Anya Rosales with you. Again, Anya helped lead the Bears to a Big 12 championship. That match actually took place down the road here in San Antonio. Some good memories in the Alamo City for Anya.
Yes, growing up here, winning a Big 12 championship here, and now working with the professional soccer team here. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that.
Little stroll to the midfield, up to Elizondo. Ball finally taken away by McCandawiri. Can the Rowdies find an advantage here in the opening half? Again, we talk about the numbers this year for Diego Restrepo. With those 12 shutouts, one shy of an individual USL record. San Antonio had an additional 3 shutouts this year with Cardoni in the opening month of the season.
Yeah, you look at Diego's stats and you think, you know, this player definitely played all season, but he came in midway.
Chipped in, Ibiaga is going to get that first touch more often than not back in the box defensively. Up to Gordon. This is one of your newer acquisitions you're talking about for San Antonio. And this will be a corner kick for the home side. Another great chance for San Antonio to delight the home fans here with an opening advantage if they can capitalize. And it appears it'll be Billy doing the honors.
San Antonio FC has been pretty successful on set pieces, so let's see if they can capitalize here late in the first half. And
6 assists this year for Forbes to go with his 9 goals, making his 28th start of the season here tonight. Gordon is right on the goal line. No other teammate within 12 yards. Left boot delivery. Back post. Pickens will have it spill out, but recovers.
That was a dangerous ball right there, and great save by Pickens.
Well-paced pass for Restrepo. Walter Restrepo, who wanted to get into a stare down there with Diego, but it just would not come to fruition.
You saw Sebastian Ibiaga there ready for that corner kick.
Oh, a tight cross, and Diego able to squeeze it in.
And as a price you pay sending your defenders as target players on set pieces like that, if you get a counter attack, well, you just saw what happened. You're kind of, everyone's just getting back as fast as they can, and your defenders are some of the furthest people away from the ball in that moment.
That time, just a little misconnection for San Antonio. Back over to the Rowdies as we say farewell here in a moment to the 34th minute of play. Each of these sides currently number 2 in their respective conference. The Rowdies, what a debut it has been. Their inaugural campaign in the USL. What a great addition to this league. And of course, year 2 for San Antonio.
It's tremendous to see how much this league has been growing in such a short amount of time with players and teams.
Porter sent that one into the 18, quickly sent back out. Walter Restrepo looking to play a little 2-man game, and he will test Diego. And Diego will be able to smother that one. Just 11 losses all year combined between these two teams. More often than not, they have been able to send their fans home happy.
It's very impressive for the two clubs right there.
And we're certainly mindful that much of Ralph's Mob is over at $5 Drinkery on Central Avenue, back there on the peninsula. Certainly, most of them familiar with pro soccer here in San Antonio and the familiar confines of Toyota Field. Wrist off. San Antonio with palms to the sky wanted a foul called on Tampa Bay. They do get a belated whistle as finally, again, our referee Victor Rivas sees one of his assistants with the flag in the air. A San Antonio defender had been pulled down inside the 18, and McCarthy was the man who, again, insists on being the victim for San Antonio, with the aggressor being Martin Patterson. Let's see if this just ends in a handshake.
Pat on the back, close enough.
Again, Stephen McCarthy, the Dallas native, former North Carolina Tar Heel.
Last season, Stephen McCarthy wasn't sure if he was going to be coming back to San Antonio FC, and he really wanted to. Being from Dallas, that Texas native, he liked playing in his home state, playing close to home, and he just really loves playing with this club.
Ball advanced, Elizondo the nearest man for the home side. Rowdies struggling to send it back the other way. And finally will with that right boot of Jones. Rowdies slow to get numbers forward to help things out, as that ball will be sent into row 12.
That was a good defensive read by Greg Cochran, covering two players. He covered an overlapping run. It's hard to do as a defender when you're trying to stick with your man and follow the runner.
And a reminder, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Again, Lincoln Rose, Anya Rosales with you. As SAFC year number 2 here in the USL. The Rowdies in their first year, both clubs have provided some instant success for their fans in this league. And both postseason bound. Shot from nearby, side netting. As we remain scoreless here in the Alamo City. It's Darwin Jones able to turn.
McCarthy does a good job of standing him up, but Jones still creates that little bit of space to get the shot off, and that's what you're going to see tonight. You're going to see good defensive plays, good offensive plays, and it's just going to create a good goal and a good strike to score tonight.
Again, Rowdies have had some great looks at various points throughout this match. Quick touch, played out wide. And perhaps a tad too unselfish for the Rowdies that time.
Yeah, you probably just want to go straight at goal at that point. You catch the defenders off guard. You're kind of free and unmarked at that point. Just go for goal and try to strike it.
Well, I think Schaefer gets a free sandwich if he gets his card punched one more time here in this corner. Again, left-footed outswinger coming up. Top of the 6. San Antonio the first to get ahead on it.
You see Sebastian Ibiaga up there again making big defensive plays on set pieces.
The Rowdies hoping this stint in the offensive third will ultimately lead to the opening goal. About 5.5 minutes remaining in the scheduled 45 of this first half. And likely minimal stoppage time.
Yes, it seems the Rowdies have just really controlled the attack in the last couple minutes here, keeping San Antonio really on the defensive side, not being able to create any attacking chances.
And we invite you to stick around at halftime through the miracle of television. Anya Rosales will go from here in the broadcast booth to talking to Omar Gordon earlier this week, the birthday boy tomorrow.
Correct.
A chance to catch up with you. And a chance to get to know one of the newest members of this club here in San Antonio out of Montego Bay.
Yes, the first time he was actually in San Antonio was for the Gold Cup when he was playing with Jamaica. So I would say that's a pretty nice way to pick up a player on your roster.
Yeah, some fond memories already for him here in San Antonio. Gordon last year was in the States on loan to Indy 11, making his 8th appearance tonight, making 9th appearance overall, his 8th start for San Antonio. And right on cue, Gordon, as the flag will stay down, able to control it. Elizondo trying to beat his man. And the Rowdies back line frustrating Cesar Elizondo. Did not give him the opening he hoped for. All the credit to Tampa Bay there, as Pickens was never tested.
There was a dangerous chance for San Antonio FC after kind of a lull in the attack, and then
Pickens stumbling. His teammates on the nearby bench, palms to the sky, hoping for a whistle.
You know, at this point, when two teams are scoreless and they have a lot of really good chances, you kind of start to see the arms coming up and calls wanted, and tensions rise a little bit more out of frustration, which the fans like.
And that was Tamika Makandawiri, born in Malawi, moved to England at age 3. Been a feature here in the States for the past several years now, with the Rowdies back joining them in 2014. San Antonio with nice consistency. When you look at last year's roster to this year, the Rowdies have had a nice nucleus over the past several years. Not to mention Keith Savage, who's available on the bench tonight in his 7th campaign with the men in the green and gold hoops. Elizondo looking to connect over the top. Gordon couldn't settle it. Here comes the captain. Reed will fire just off the mark.
That was a great effort by Reed, reading that play, getting ready for any scrum that falls off that cross, and just couldn't finish it.
Oh, he would love to do it again. As Pickens, simply a spectator back on that goal line, a sigh of relief for Michael Reed. 1 goal this year out of that midfield, 4 in his 2-year tenure here in San Antonio. Pekka. Again, Gordon marked by a pair of Rowdies. And it's the second defender, Porter, whose presence pays off. First chance to really get a look at Mark Ojong here tonight. Signed back in late April with San Antonio.
He really had a breakout game last game with that goal and the assist, and he wasn't really a defensive player when SAFC brought him in, and you see him out here on the back right. So we're seeing what Darren Powell's kind of using his weapons and mixing it up here, trying to save some players as we head into the postseason.
He certainly already has his fair share of highlights. Final scheduled minute in this opening half between San Antonio and Tampa Bay. Again, no wind to speak of on this Saturday evening. Pleasant in the mid-80s. Elizondo marked by Schaefer. Ristov trying to come through with the tackle. Inside of 30. As San Antonio not rushing things. Gordon turns, fires from 22. Pickens denies, and they may avoid a corner kick. They do.
You see the strength of Omar Gordon there, just being able to get a ball, turn, and shoot, and really put the Rowdies on their toes.
Baltazar Peral-Hanna, he knows where the cameras are, showing us at least 2 minutes of stoppage time. Pickens tested again, had the answer in goal tonight for the Rowdies. And you'll understand if Billy Forbes' shirt is no longer tucked in. McCandawary wearing that captain's armband tonight. We'll jog back into the mix following the foul call. Reed, this is what we started tonight's broadcast talking about, Anya. Michael Reed on top of that ball here in a dangerous opportunity on the right wing.
Yes, Reed on those set pieces, really good about playing in a dangerous ball for either Sebastian Ibiaga or someone like Stephen McCarthy to get ahead on. We look for those target players, the taller guys in that box.
Reed within 11. Was that Billy Forbes who got the head on it? Or was it McCarthy just to his left?
Looked like a little miscommunication there. Both players very hungry to get on that ball.
It's not often you'll see Billy beat another man out on a piece like that. Walter Restrepo. Walter was involved in one of the more creative trades in professional soccer we've seen here in America. Back when Fort Lauderdale, his former team, traded him away. It was for free transportation and some hotels for their next time to visit the club they traded him to in San Antonio. Restrepo would go on to win a championship against his former team that year. That'll do it. The opening half in the books. SAFC and Tampa Bay Rowdies. An eventful first half to their first ever meeting here in the USL. But still 0-0. Our score. As we pause for the break, when we come back, we'll check in with Anya and her conversation with one of the newest members of SAFC, Omar Gordon.
They start so small, but bring big life changes. They are now your entire world. And that's why buying a home, protecting your assets, and setting up your family's future requires the right planning and expertise. Your cargo is precious, and your journey is just beginning. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
So I'm cruising here in my new Camry. You know, just following the nav's predictive traffic. That's when I saw smoke coming from the pet store. I called 911 on the Bluetooth and began the rescue. The owner gave me this as a reward. His name is Senor Bandito.
Wait, you got a new Camry?
The 2017 Camry with sporty looks and the latest tech. It'll surprise a few people. Toyota, let's go places.
Scoreless after one half of play between San Antonio and Tampa Bay. SAFC, despite a great start here in year number 2, not content, always looking for that extra piece that could lead to a championship run. That includes one of the newest additions in Omar Gordon.
Well, my first time coming to San Antonio was in the Gold Cup with the national team, Jamaican national team. And the coach watched me from then, and he have interest in me, and he want to bring me here. Their style of playing is much like my style of playing, so it's just like I'm back home in Jamaica playing amongst my teammates. Day in, day out when I play, it's everything to me, you know. Sometimes when I'm a little bit frustrated and I start playing soccer, it frees me from everything, so it's my joy, and that is where I find most of my happiness, you know. And it's a sport that I love from ever since, because my dad, he used to be a goalkeeper. I started off as a goalkeeper. I go to high school as a goalkeeper, you know. My last year, I started to play outfield, and it was like really great. I'm like, I need to stop being a goalkeeper. I need to be out here. While I'm here, you know, it's one of the greatest feeling, you know. I enjoy being around my teammates and the people that I'm around so far. You know, they're loving and caring, you know, and they very jovial as well. And I really enjoy that, you know. So it's a nice place to be.
Well, Gordon certainly has been a presence out on the wing tonight, but San Antonio FC is still looking for its first goal, scoreless here at halftime in the Alamo City.
Welcome to Corner Store. How can we help?
Well, I'm thirsty.
We have juice, teas, and over 100 ways to create your drink with our Coca-Cola Freestyle.
Wow, that's a lot of drinks.
Need a boost? We've got fresh coffee and great deals on energy drinks.
That's cool and hot.
Ready to relax? Check out our craft beer and wine selection.
Classy.
How else can we help?
That's it. I'll just take these. Thanks.
Don't forget the milk.
We're your juice, tea, soda, coffee, energy drink, beer, wine, milk, and more store. We're fresh and friendly. We're Corner Store.
Look for the silver door, Timmy.
All right, here we go.
Timmy!
What is this place? Welcome to the Spurs Retirement Club. This is nice.
Here we have all-you-can-eat H-E-B Prime 1 steaks.
Awesome.
And here's your monogram steak, sir. Cooked to perfection.
Plus an unlimited supply of creamy creations, ice cream. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
H-E-B Prime 1, just like they serve in the finest restaurants.
Gotta crank this party up a notch.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
I'm not the type to say any of this mushy garbage.
You know what? I'm going for it. You are completely and utterly
Awesome. I'm glad you showed up.
in my life.
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I
Get down!
you always have
My back. My back.
It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things
Yes, yes, things.
are actually friendship.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
As we enter the final 2 weeks of the 2017 USL regular season, the playoff race is coming down to the wire. In one of the final games of Week 28, the Charleston Battery claimed the point they needed to clinch a spot in the postseason through Evio Cordova's late equalizer, which earned a 1-1 draw at Ottawa Fury FC. Another sellout crowd at Papa Murphy's Park of 11,569 fans saw Sacramento Republic FC close out its home slate on a high note Saturday night with a 2-0 victory that ended Phoenix Rising FC's 11-game undefeated streak. With the win, Republic FC now needs just 1 point to claim a 4th consecutive trip to the USL Cup playoffs. At the top of the Western Conference, Real Monarchs SLC struck early in the second half and twice before the final whistle on the road to down Reno 1868 FC 3-0 to put one hand on the USL regular season championship. 1 more point is all that's needed for the Monarchs to claim the first silverware in their history. One of the scorers for the Monarchs in Reno was Chandler Hoffman, who is again firmly in the middle of the race for the USL Golden Boot with 16 goals this season. Everyone is still chasing Reno 1868 FC's Dane Kelly, though, as the Jamaican continues to lead the way with 18 goals in what looks now like a 3-player race that also features Hoffman and the Charlotte Independence's Enzo Martinez, who also sits on 16 goals. With 2 games remaining for all 3 players, the award remains up for grabs as the regular season nears its conclusion. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
They start so small, but bring big life changes. They are now your entire world. And that's why buying a home, protecting your assets, and setting up your family's future requires the right planning and expertise. Your cargo is precious, and your journey is just beginning. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
So I'm cruising here in my new Camry. You know, just following the nav's predictive traffic. That's when I saw smoke coming from the pet store. I called 911 on the Bluetooth and began the rescue. The owner gave me this as a reward. His name is Senor Bandito.
Wait, you got a new Camry?
The 2017 Camry with sporty looks and the latest tech. It'll surprise a few people. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, halftime here at Toyota Field. Again, first meeting this year between San Antonio and out of the East, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Lincoln Rose, Anya Rosales with you. Anya, we take a look back at, while it was 0-0, it was not an uneventful opening 45 minutes of play.
Diego saves off the top.
That's correct. I mean, Tampa Bay came out very strong, and Diego Restrepo answered very strongly as well. They had a lot of good chances on the Rowdies' on the Rowdies side, getting in behind the defense, but once again, Diego Restrepo coming up big.
Restrepo looking for a USL record 13 individual shutouts if he can maintain a clean sheet with that back line tonight.
Omar attack, 2 of them.
While the Rowdies got some quality looks, soon enough it was the opportunity for San Antonio, including Omar Gordon.
Yes, Omar Gordon creating chances for the attack with San Antonio FC, taking the ball, getting it, turning quickly, and shooting.
Pickens would be able to deflect that one in touch, and moments later again, looking for that set piece. Reed leading the charge, McCarthy just unable to put it away. And you'll see that first line, a couple of zeros surprising on the board after all the chances we have seen. But possession pretty even along the way. For a scoreless match, we've seen both teams be able to find some flow and some possession to create some interesting opportunities.
That's correct. And, I mean, it's pretty even throughout the match, except when you look at the fouls and the corner kicks. But other than that, I mean, both teams have had their chances, and it still remains 0-0 here.
Look, after tonight, a few things will be in San Antonio's favor when they pursue the West. It's all home matches, including tonight. They'll welcome in Timbers 2, and then, of course, a young, budding rivalry with the Toros from RGVFC.
And if that rivalry wasn't strong enough already, the last match between those two clubs here at Toyota Field was a 1-0 win for the Toros, but it was a very chippy, very exciting match to be a part of, and you'll definitely see SAFC wanting revenge for their last home game of the regular season.
That midweek matchup against the midweek matchup will be on Fox Sports Southwest. The Archbishop being treated to some soccer here tonight in the USL. Still looking for the first goal to rear its head. SAFC and Tampa Bay Rowdies have both had quality opportunities. Can either of them leave tonight with the full 3 points in pursuit of that number 2 push in the West and the East? We'll be back with second half here in San Antonio.
They start so small, but bring big life changes. They are now your entire world. And that's why buying a home, protecting your assets, and setting up your family's future requires the right planning and expertise. Your cargo is precious, and your journey is just beginning. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
So I'm cruising here in my new Camry. You know, just following the nav's predictive traffic. That's when I saw smoke coming from the pet store. I called 911 on the Bluetooth and began the rescue. The owner gave me this as a reward. His name is Senor Bandito.
Wait, you got a new Camry?
The 2017 Camry with sporty looks and the latest tech. It'll surprise a few people. Toyota, let's go places.
Second half underway as our multitasking Anya Rosales, everything but wearing the red hat tonight as we come into the start of the second half. A little early, missed about 15 seconds. Again, a reminder of what is on the line tonight. The Rowdies, with a win, will clinch a first-round home playoff match. Lowest they could potentially finish is still 4th. Both these sides have locked up postseason, and now it's just a matter of trying to host as much as possible.
Definitely two teams here not wanting to settle with just making the postseason, but seeing how far they can go as far as hosting in the postseason. It's huge when you want to make a playoff run.
No changes at the half for either side, as San Antonio will push it, looking to connect there with Greg Cochran, the Pennsylvania native. We'll never see the ball that trip down.
Greg Cochran's just been one of those reliable players for San Antonio FC. He's, if not played the most matches for this club, he was back with SAFC last season and played every single game last season. I think only missing one game this season. And he's just one of those players that just works hard and gets the job done.
Yeah, this is already the 59th time he has suited up and stepped out on the pitch for San Antonio. Over 2,600 minutes last year, and by the end of tonight could eclipse 2,600 once again.
I really don't know how he does it. I think he has some sort of...
Looking to link up with Billy Forbes, but Pickens wisely off his line in a hurry to the top of the 18. Out wide, Hristov. Matched with Cochran. Hristov trying to create for Restrepo. San Antonio denying Walter. Walter Restrepo, a stint with the New York Cosmos between his time playing soccer here in San Antonio and with the Rowdies. And he is going to always be one of your busiest men when he has a chance to play significant minutes in the midfield. A rare start, though, for Walter since joining the Rowdies mid-season this year.
You know, and speaking of busy guys on the field and rare starts, you have number 25 for SAFC, Ryan Rashandel. He's a guy that really does it all for the club. He's an academy coach. He's a player. He lives at the facilities.
You left off a certain job you're filling tonight.
Correct, and he has done color commentary, but tonight he has to be on the field, so somebody has to take his spot. And once a rare start, you know, the veteran, he's really there just to help the new guys and the team, and he really just fulfills any role he has to play.
I know the Rashandel family always knew that his name would be pronounced properly when he was the one saying it on the broadcast last year. Again, Rowdies resting names like Cole and Collins, but again, flexing their depth on display tonight. Hristov will step back. A couple men, including Pekka, to contend with.
It was a great defensive stand by Pekka, not stabbing, just keeping his player upright.
Walter Restrepo looking to connect along the perimeter of the 18. And they will call the foul on Pekka. And that's part of me, actually, Martin Patterson that he's tangled up with. It looked like the right call.
Yeah, you can't really get away with a tackle from behind when you're already on the ground.
I said Hristov earlier, obviously Patterson there, the 30-year-old out of Northern Ireland. Capped 23 times for his national team. Spent much of his career in the UK. And Pekka does, in fact, receive the yellow. That's his first this year.
It just seems a play out of frustration. He made a great defensive effort back-to-back previously, right before that, and he kind of makes the wrong cut, gets to the ground, and out of frustration just flails and catches a Rowdy player.
Well, Schaefer on this ball just outside the 18. So dangerous with his 10 assists this year. Diego Restrepo all by his lonesome on the line. And that one will truly carry. No wind to speak of whatsoever. And a rare miscue from Marcel Schaefer. 15 years in the Bundesliga. Back in his home country of Germany. As that one just continued to climb. "51 minutes, scoreless here in San Antonio." Again, if you've been following the career of Walter Restrepo, this is now his 12th match, but just his 13th start for the Rowdies. Again, it speaks to the depth that Stuart Campbell has to work with here in year 3 as manager of this club. Walter has often been among the best players on the pitch throughout his pro career. As Reed taps it. Forbes, quick touch out to Pekka. Rowdies back line along the 18. Oh, Pekka putting on a show.
Some fancy footwork from the Brazilian. He's so good about getting out of tight spaces.
Ibiaga lobbing in a ball that in the end Pickens will quickly tuck away. That's a ball where Ibiaga's just hoping for a slight miscue, and then you have Billy Forbes right there to pounce on it.
Definitely some hungry players in the box when you have this 0-0 match right now with tons of good opportunity earlier in the first half.
We've seen some quality run of play that could lead to scores. We've also obviously seen our fair share of set pieces, but the result's been the same so far. No ball crossing the goal line on either end yet.
Yes, I would definitely say this is anybody's game tonight. There's not really any team dominating any particular area of the field.
Obviously, the home side, San Antonio, would like the full 3 points as opposed to a draw with the visiting Rowdies. But even a draw would push San Antonio all by itself into the 2 seed.
The game at hand definitely is an advantage for San Antonio FC in this situation leading into the playoffs.
It's just hard to picture this match playing out the full 90 without at least 1 goal.
It's about to drop at some point. You've had too many good opportunities just in the first half. The teams are going to keep chipping away and something's just going to fall.
Restrepo up ahead to Ibiaga. And just a tad heavy. Back to the Rowdies for the throw. And when you have a backline member like Ojong pushing all the way forward, having to sprint back. And again, another card.
Yes, the Rowdies really took advantage of Mark Ojong's run all the way up the line. Just that quick counterattack down his spot.
Omar Gordon with his first flash of yellow seen this year.
You see him trying to slow down the play, knowing his defender is completely out of position, which results in a yellow card.
And to be fair, nobody in the USL wants to see the back of number 10 of the Rowdies. Georgi Hristov, so talented in the midfield and up top, dangerous if he gets past you.
Yes, I think he has 11 goals this season. You definitely don't want him to get past you.
And Hristov joined the Rowdies back in 2013. 5 braces throughout his career, a hat trick as well, the only one in modern Tampa Bay history. And we mentioned that scoring career of his for Tampa Bay started right here in San Antonio when he helped the Rowdies spoil a grand opening here at Toyota Field. And what a history this venue has now had. We would love to see more postseason here in the USL this month.
Yes, it's a great venue to host some playoff games in the USL.
Again, owned and operated by Spurs Sports and Entertainment. My understanding is they still field a basketball team that may be getting started up right now. Trying to work with space, put the ball in his left boot, but it'll go wide. As the headline tonight, some quality looks, but in the end, zeros on the scoreboard. That one coming from Gordon.
Gordon once again just creating his own chance, doing whatever he can to get a shot on goal. And even though these shots are going wide for both teams, you know, it's still great to see them both taking those shots, taking those chances, because one eventually will fall for either side.
Matt Pickens making his 27th start in goal this year. All the way back to Diego Restrepo. Cochran in front of his bench with a watchful eye from Darren Pound. And this ball won by San Antonio. Looking a quick restart by the home side. And Elizondo from Costa Rica. Back to Sebastian Ibeaga, who grew up in the Houston area, Missouri City, Texas, before he went on to become the ACC Defensive Player of the Year in his time as a Duke Blue Devil. I'm guessing there were a few other people on campus over there at Duke. Might be a tad taller than Ibeaga. As the ball will continue with San Antonio.
Yes, Ibeaga at the start of this season was really excited to get back to Texas. Just a couple-hour drive from his hometown. Having his family at his games, he was really excited to just start the season with this team, with his family so close by.
Last year he was with his home squad Dynamo, but spent much of it on loan down to RGV in the USL and Oklahoma City up in the NASL. Did make it into the postseason with Oklahoma City. Played on a unique surface with Rayo OKC last year, a artificial turf that laid on top of a football field and track to try to expand the pitch. Restrepo battling with Cochran, and Restrepo and the Rowdies will win this ball right in front of the San Antonio bench. Neither manager looking to his bench just yet, as we're nearing the hour mark. Oh, you would have loved to see a run from one of the Rowdies on that last touch. Instead, Restrepo buying his men some time, sending this ball up towards midfield. What's it going to take? A mistake on the back line for us to see the first goal?
You know, you sometimes hope not, and you hope for a good build-up play, but at this point you've had good build-up plays and good opportunities. It probably will have to be a mistake.
That ball came up and bit the hand of Elizondo as it'll be given back over to the Rowdies. Well, again here in the 60th minute. This has continued much like the opening half. Set pieces for both sides. Opportunities through the run of play as well. Schaefer looking for his opportunities. Now will run without the ball back up into the midfield and towards the top. Christoph swings it out wide to Walter Restrepo. One-on-one. And right now, things running through Restrepo. Diego Restrepo back on his line. Looking to see if the Rowdies can crack that back defense of San Antonio, as this one will slip away. Well, again, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 o'clock Eastern on Sirius XMFC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for the dates and times. Mike Watts has been a busy man this year. Midweek matches, helping feature the USL. Often double duty on weekends with Morgan Conklin. A great ambassador this year for this league. And they just announced he and ESPNU will have that call of the USL Cup once again this year.
I think that's just another factor of growth in this league.
And let's see, we know we have a foul. Will we have any more? As we'll get another look. As Billy Forbes, at least the referee appeared to tug from behind. Forbes not convinced that his left hand was guilty there. Back to live play. Ball served in. They were looking for Ristov on the header. And another, perhaps skip of the heartbeat for Diego Restrepo back on his line, but never had to get involved.
Yeah, you see that hard-nosed defense back there doing anything they can to just scrap and get the ball out of their box.
San Antonio, for the most part, has kept Georgi Hristov about as quiet as you can. And yet, you know, one time you let him slip away, that could be your difference maker.
You know, in this match, it's been so close. I think the first one to score might be the game-winning goal because it's just so hard to get a goal with these really good defensive teams.
You may have just noticed in the side of the picture, Diego Restrepo looking up into the sky, shrugging his shoulders as San Antonio concedes the corner kick here. At least Schaefer gets to dabble with a new corner over there in front of the Gardeners. Nothing but positive thoughts, I'm sure.
Especially behind the opposing team's keeper.
This one bends up top. A quick hop into the midsection of Restrepo. Still in pursuit of that USL record. And of course, he's less concerned with a record of what would be 13 individual shutouts. And more significant to him, of course, the postseason push, looking for valuable points here down the stretch. But so far, it appears they'll go hand in hand.
Yes, talking to Restrepo about his potential to break the league record in clean sheets. He says that doesn't really matter. It's just getting as far as they can as a team.
Walter Restrepo, meanwhile, no relation, denying Cochran's entry feed. Somehow Walter can play 90 minutes and look like he can skip the shower and just put a suit right on and be ready to go out on the evening.
I guess that's just a soccer player thing. It's all about how you look.
He and Cesar Elizondo cut from the same cloth. Pickens denying Elizondo a chance to pounce on that ball. Again, Pickens joined the Rowdies back in 2014. Already a decade into his career at the time. Ojong looking to help late on defense. Open space! And I can't imagine Diego Restrepo is pleased with his back line there.
That was one of those mistakes you were talking about that could have happened. You see Ojong just kind of on his heels. Michael Reed slips in the box and left with an open shot there.
When your own teammate sets the pick.
Definitely a miscommunication.
And Darwin Jones, much like many other potential scorers tonight, has to be asking, how did I miss that opportunity?
And San Antonio FC taking a breath of having that luck.
Yeah, both sides have experienced it tonight. And neither team has had to pay for any miscues. Now in the 67th minute. As you watch the Rowdies compete here in this final half hour, remember, most of these legs are in the midst of their 5th match over the last 15 days. They had to make the trip to San Antonio, looking for Billy, denied entry, while SAFC is in the midst of their first of 3 straight home matches this week. Rowdies will stay on the road against Orlando to close out their regular season. Both have already been guaranteed postseason, just trying to maintain the number 2 seed. In the west for San Antonio, in the east for Tampa Bay. From that wing, over the top. Ristov will send it to the top of the 18 as it stays with the Rowdies.
That was great hustle by the Rowdies to keep possession on that play.
King possibly looking a little give and go with Restrepo. It's just outnumbered by San Antonio. But this one won back by the visiting side. And Darnell King poised to make the throw. Getting to play near his hometown. Grew up in Tampa, went to Florida Atlantic. Cross towards that far post, nobody home. And the last touch coming off of Ojan.
It was great control to keep the ball out for just a throw in and not concede that corner kick.
Moments later, it appears there will be a corner opportunity. There's less space to work with over in that corner. San Antonio this year expanding the width of the pitch. Back post, off balance, second strike is through. The Rowdies able to land the first blow of the night.
It looks like it came off of a mistake, a defensive mistake.
And I believe that may have been the historic 50th goal for Ristov. Let's see. Georgi Hristov with his first career goal here at Toyota Field, and now number 50.
That was just a great finish. Defenders kind of caught ball watching, but just having to react not fast enough, and the ball gets in the back of the net.
And Schaefer now even for the league lead with 11 assists. He's had 5 in his last 6 matches during this run. And the Rowdies are eyeing locking up that number 2 seed in the East in this, their first year in the USL.
Tampa Bay Rowdies goal scored by number 10, Georgi Hristov.
And it would leave San Antonio still uncertain about where that first postseason match might be. Elizondo eyeing his options. Forbes, top of the 18. One man's usually not enough. Spills out. Elizondo will send it wide. Oh, the rebound came out to Cesar. Unable to put it away.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better ball you'd want at the top of the box. We see here, you know, Billy creates a good opportunity, gets a great strike on goal. Cesar's exactly where he needs to be, just can't really put it away. I don't know how many better chances you're going to get in this game than that one.
And again, more praise needing to be heaped on Matt Pickens back in frame. That ball got to him in a hurry off the boot of Billy Forbes. Pickens 8 shutouts of his own this year.
You see San Antonio wanting to answer that conceded goal very quickly with that play.
Forbes with speed. Billy all by himself, tripping up outside the 18. No foul as play continues with the Rowdies.
You know, at that point, you really just got to try to play for the ball. And at this point of the game, this time of the season, the ref's not going to be so quick to give up penalty kicks. But nonetheless, a great effort by Billy Forbes to get up in the attack.
San Antonio desperate for a quick response to that goal from Hristov. Reed, top of the 18. Billy looking for the header, midair collision.
You definitely see Billy really wanting a goal right now.
Fans wanting a handball. They will get the call for the chicken wing, and that will bring out a yellow. Walter Restrepo receiving the card. His 4th yellow as a Rowdy.
You hear the crowd really starting to get into it.
Watch his left arm. Oh, no. May have been off the knee.
Off the knee, it's hard to tell, but didn't really seem that intentional, not really deserving a card.
Yeah, nothing unnatural, but he receives one here. Pickens favors that near post.
Michael Reed's known for his set pieces and creating dangerous balls inside that box. Let's see if they can answer here with that conceded goal.
Restrepo and Ristov asked to take their wall a step back. Reed bending in, back post, looking for Ibiaga, who collides with Pickens. And this ball will go back over to Tampa Bay. And they're asking for help now to look at Matt Pickens. We'll get another look at the collision.
Some contact there in the box. Not sure if he hit him in the head or where, but you definitely saw Ibiaga extend that arm as he jumps up. It's just a natural reaction when you go up against a keeper. You protect yourself.
Again, Ibiaga right now talking things over at the request of Victor Rivas. You did see his right arm out. Midair with the keeper, Pickens. Pickens then was slow to get up and still has a few thoughts to share with his counterpart as he gestures towards the back of his neck. Well, the Rowdies are going to make their first change. Patterson will come off. Sebastian Guinzotti will make his 8th appearance this year. Patterson doesn't know it yet, but his night will be through. And we have another Rowdy now down stretching. Kyle Porter gets the attention. And San Antonio fans are, as most soccer fans are, a little skeptical when the team with the lead all of a sudden has a few injuries. We certainly understand it here in the Texas heat. Not that things over in St. Pete and Tampa Bay can't get a little muggy at times.
Right, and even tonight, it's a kind of cool night.
Yeah, it's a shirt optional kind of night, especially if you're in Mission City.
It's always shirt optional.
And you're about to see one man go down in your shot. There it is.
Top of the screen there, you see him just go down. Without really a player around him. Could be cramps.
I think our man Zagruder had the footage on that one. We anticipate Kyle will be able to continue. They still have not officially removed Patterson from this match. Guinzotti's still waiting to come on, and in a moment we're also going to see another Rowdy checking in, and Zach Portillos. This will be Portillos' first time off the bench. He's one of the young men who's resting tonight. Until now, during this run of 15 days, 5 matches. And so Porter will come off. Now that's not the amount of stoppage time being added, as Porter will come off for Portillos, and we're still waiting for Guinzotti to come on as well. So 4 fresh legs for Tampa Bay. And of course that clock continues to tick. Victor Rivas showing Patterson the quickest route to the table. Again, we were scoreless until a handful of minutes ago. Georgi Hristov receiving a beautiful pass from Schaefer and able to put it away. Meanwhile, both sides have struggled to possess the ball here in almost, 6 or 7 minutes?
It's been a very chippy game. No really.
As we have been at a lull here with no play, a collision with the goalkeeper started it all, then some cramping. Ever Guzman will come on, his 7th appearance, in place of Elizondo, the lone sub tonight for Darren Powell thus far.
I sat down with Ever Guzman about a week ago, and he just expressed how happy he was to be in San Antonio and being with this club. And like we've talked about, just picking up where they've left off on a really good foot, and he's entering the season on a very successful time, and he just wants to bring what he can to help elevate that success towards the postseason.
Guzman, the 29-year-old out of Guanajuato, Mexico, 3 times capped by his home nation, last time back in 2007. Last 14 years being spent with the top 2 divisions in Mexico. Now Pickens will take his time out for an evening stroll, as he has the benefit of defending a 1-goal advantage. Now, Diego Restrepo would be doing the exact same thing here, but you like to get to know which blade of grass you're going to put that ball on. Your guess is as good as ours how much time really remains here in the second half.
Yeah, like you talked about, we had that long lull with the series of injuries or players going down.
Forget time. How many goals remain here in the second half?
That is also true.
Out wide towards Ibiaga. Off his chest, and the flag up offside the call. A moot point. And pardon me, that's Gordon.
That's the hair.
I see those golden locks, and I think Ibiaga has pushed forward off of his back line. But no, Omar Gordon still getting used to one of the newest additions. I know it's not Odell.
It can't be. You know, you talk about how many goals we might not know will be scored. San Antonio FC known to recently come back late in the game with multiple goals, so don't ever count them out of a match, and it will definitely make for an interesting ending here.
Now again, the Rowdies, when they were leading 3-1 against New York the other night in St. Pete, they were guilty of conceding a late goal to New York to make it a little tighter down the finish. They've been able to make 2 substitutions tonight to try to freshen their approach. Certainly not parking the bus with a lot of time left here. Instead, it's San Antonio desperate to get this ball back. It'll be Gordon looking for a quick throw. Not too quick. For the Rowdies, if they could find insurance, it would be all but certainly locking up the number 2 seed. Entering tonight, number 2 in the East. Only clash with San Antonio this year.
So unfortunate to see Reed give up the ball right there in the midfield after all the work he just put in.
Again, looking for that insurance. Guinzotti, one of the 2 changes here in the second half, looking for Walter Restrepo. Cochran denies.
Once
Simply
again,
be a throw for the Rowdies.
Another good, just defensive play by Cochran, doing the easy, smart thing, or at least making it look easy.
Ristov sends one in, stays on the offensive-minded Rowdies' boots, only to be sent away. And San Antonio will keep it just a 1-goal deficit for now.
The Rowdies are doing anything but sitting back and holding that lead.
Rowdies are not going to rush any attack. Walter Restrepo. Still plenty left on those 2 legs to dance and earn a corner kick. Well, the USL has become the most prominent second division professional league in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL. And again, we talked about how this year they got even stronger with additions like the Rowdies.
Yes, this league is just growing, and it's making it really exciting, especially as we're going to go into the postseason and see leagues across the conference, teams across the conferences battle it out.
Schaefer, left-footed delivery, and this one back over to San Antonio. Well, if this ball winds up in the offensive third for San Antonio, they'll be greeted by a weather system of sorts, a low-hanging red cloud, which for a little while there was engulfing the far corner, right in front of Mission City.
I guess they really want a goal, so they wanted to pretend like they were celebrating for a goal, but on a night like this where there's not much wind, it kind of just lingers in the stadium.
Well, if that cloud completely dissipates, talking about the smoke bomb, that'll speak to how well the Rowdies have been able to keep this ball on the offensive end. And now another yellow for San Antonio.
Yeah, it's hard for San Antonio to just gain some sort of momentum or gain a rhythm here because they've constantly had to play on the defensive side. And then once you get something going, it's a foul or it's a stopping. It's really hard to just create that rhythm. And so finding that goal to answer back here late in the game is going to be very tough for the team.
It was Mark Ojong who picked up what will be his 5th yellow. Expect him to miss the midweek match this week. Walter Restrepo's night is through, as in his place, Keith Savage. Of course, Keith's dad, Bruce, former member of the U.S. men's national team. Not this last year. But Keith and his dad both growing up in Gulf Breeze, Florida. Keith would go on to star at University of West Florida in Division II. Now in his 7th year with the Rowdies, making his 12th appearance here tonight. Gets past Cochran to Ristov. Just wants to force Diego Restrepo to make a move. So the Rowdies have made all 3 of their substitutions for the night. Pekka has Billy ahead of him. Forbes on Makandawiri. Loses to Mika. Cross! And that one underneath it. Gordon, again, like so many others tonight, would love to do it again.
As we see here, Billy once again creating opportunity, getting down the line, and serving a perfect ball right across the box. Gordon just can't keep it down. He kind of leans back on that finish, and you know he wishes he had that ball served in again.
There are times tonight when you wonder if they accidentally put helium in that ball.
I wonder.
San Antonio will make its 2nd change of the night. Mike Seth comes on, the 30-year-old out of Pittsburgh, in place of the captain, Michael Reed. Seth started this year with Phoenix Rising before signing this past August here in the Alamo City. Already his first touch. Back to Pekka. Here's Ibeagha. Well, if you want to get stronger, run with a parachute or with a Rowdy strapped to your back. Guinzotti with the foul.
Ibeagha just beat his player there, and Guinzotti knows he has to stop him somehow.
So now 10 SAFC in front of Diego Restrepo. This will float. First touch from Ibeagha. And now Restrepo has to get back on his line. He's lingered too long. They'll take a gamble. And this one goes wide.
Very risky play by San Antonio FC, packing the box with their team. And like that, you risk a counterattack, and SAFC really got lucky on that one.
Diego saw something he felt required him to stay at the top of his 18 until the last second. San Antonio will win the ball once again. Rowdies have the benefit of Georgi Hristov's 50th goal in the hoops during his career. Again, the symmetry as his scoring as a Rowdy started right here in San Antonio. Will it prove to be a game winner? He is the true number 10 for the club here tonight. Into the masses. And the Rowdies will get the first 2 touches. Gordon slips through. From 19 denied, still loose ball. Billy Forbes will pounce on it. The cross, back post, we're even.
Like we said, you can't count this team out of a match.
We mentioned Billy loves to score, but perhaps just as much loves to create.
Cesar Elizondo joining the shirt optional crowd over there in the corner.
Ever Guzman with his first goal for San Antonio.
I'm sorry, that was Ever Guzman who replaced Cesar.
Oh, a loose ball. Billy sends one right across the face, and Guzman makes no mistake.
Nothing more dangerous than a ball coming in fast across the face of a goal with a player coming in on the opposite side, that backside, and just drilling it in that back corner. There's not much you can do. Definitely making an impact with his substitution here late in the game.
And for the first time this year, Guzman gets to celebrate with Mission City. And it appears they had a little celebration juice left over. Darren Powell, still business as usual. We mentioned the Rowdies and their history with other pro clubs from San Antonio. They've never played to a draw. 7 wins, 7 losses against San Antonio clubs. Ball gets through, and just enough numbers left for San Antonio to keep this 1-1.
That was a very dangerous play. Great turn by Billy.
Forbes, still plenty left on those legs. Out wide, from 20. And the fans were ready to continue the party here in the Alamo City. Instead, we remain even, 1 apiece. And we will have no fewer than 4 minutes of stoppage time. And if you've enjoyed this match, you may feel that's a little light. After a couple of altercations and injuries here in the second half, it doesn't necessarily favor either side, the 4 minutes. But I think if you've been watching this one tonight, you're glad you're going to see it continue a bit longer.
It seemed after a lull in the middle of the second half that things really just sparked, especially with this recent goal here with SAFC. It kind of woke both teams up.
2 of the finest clubs in the USL this year, each number 2 in the current table in the West and East for San Antonio and Tampa Bay, respectively. Both tasting USL postseason for the first time this month. Darren Powell will be dipping into the bench at the next opportunity. It'll be his second sub of the night, as Cyprian Hedrick, of over 100 USL matches in his career, will join the fold. We talk about miscues. Could this be the difference maker? Extra pass out wide, and Ristov wanting a brace. Would have been the 6th time with the Rowdies. But let me know if you've heard this before. Ball carries a bit high.
Looked like he was offside and ran back onside for that ball. Looks like the SAFC will get free kick here. Cyprian Hedrick, who just stepped on the field, celebrated his 28th birthday yesterday. So maybe he wants a win for his birthday a day later.
Yeah, he's not going to re-gift 3 points. Right now, just 1 point available to these two sides if things continue. But what would be the fun in that? Guzman looking to Forbes. Corner kick coming up for San Antonio.
See the crowd really getting into the game here, rightfully so.
Short corner. Forbes, left-booted delivery. Already 1 assist tonight. And a foul on San Antonio back in the 18. We'll send it back over to the Rowdies. And we'll end the attack on Pickens' frame. Georgi Hristov, not a surprising entry into the goal-scoring column tonight. For San Antonio, a new name in Ever Guzman off the bench this evening.
It's definitely an experienced player coming in, helping this successful team late in the season.
Hedrick with his first touch of the evening. Mentioned Cyprian, the veteran here in the USL. I believe right around 112 matches now in this league during his tenure. You'd love to have guys like that on your bench available to you.
Yeah, Cyprian's definitely been one of those guys coming off the bench, starting in a match, just fulfilling the role he needs to play for this team and doing a great job at it.
28-year-old happens to be a Texan out of the Houston area from Friendswood. Again, the Rowdies with their own ideas of capturing 3 points on the road. In the midst of 4 minutes added to regulation here in the second half, as we are nearing that final whistle. And that is your final whistle. The first ever meeting between the Tampa Bay Rowdies and San Antonio FC does not disappoint. Rowdies strike first with Hristov. The home side finds the equalizer from Guzman, his first to open the account here in the Alamo City. Both clubs are moving on to the USL postseason, and we would love to see them square off once more in what would be ultimately the USL Cup. So an entertaining match for the full 90+ this evening, and we look forward to the next chance for these two teams to meet. Well, again, San Antonio fans, the club season continues this upcoming Wednesday as SAFC will face Portland Timbers 2 here at home. Kickoff at 7:30. You can watch it all on Fox Sports Southwest. For Anya Rosales and our entire production side, I'm Lincoln Rose. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're our final at Toyota Field. A 1-1 draw between SAFC and the Rowdies. This has been a presentation of the USL and Spur Sports and Entertainment.